Every morning, before the world has a chance to tell you who you are, there is a quiet battle waiting for your peace. You feel it the moment you open your eyes? That subtle, heavy weight of what if and not enough. Most of us think that to find peace, we have to fix our lives first. We think we need the bank account to be full, the relationship to be healed, or the diagnosis to change before we can finally breathe. But there is a different kind of strength, one that doesn't wait for the storm to pass before it starts to sing. It's found in a piece of ancient poetry that was never meant to be a polite religious recitation. It was written as a survival manual. Psalm 27 isn't just a collection of beautiful verses. It is a weapon forged in the dark. We often imagine the great King David writing these words from the comfort of a palace, wrapped in silk and security. But the reality is much gritter's. David wrote these words while he was being hunted, betrayed by people he trusted, and surrounded by enemies who wanted his life. It was in that place of absolute instability that he declared in Psalm 27:1, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" When you hear those words, don't hear them as a boast of someone who had it all figured out. Hear them as the defiance of a man who refused to let his circumstances define his reality. You see, fear has a very specific voice, and it loves to speak early. Before you've even had your first cup of coffee, fear is already whispering that God isn't listening, or that your best days are behind you. David teaches us that you don't silence those whispers by ignoring them. You silence them by declaring a higher truth. This isn't denial. It's a shift in perception. The moment you stop focusing on what is stacked against you and start focusing on who is standing within you, fear loses its grip. There is a strange tension in our lives when we feel like we are doing everything right. Yet nothing is moving. You've prayed, you've stayed faithful, you've kept your heart clean, and yet heaven seems silent. We live in a culture that hates waiting. We want the breakthrough, and we want it delivered to our door by noon. But some of the most profound work God does in us happens in the hallway, not the doorway. Toward the end of this psalm, in Psalm 27:14, we are given a difficult command. Wait for the Lord. Be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Waiting feels like nothing is happening, but in the economy of God, waiting is where the weight is added to your faith. David wasn't waiting in a waiting room. He was waiting in caves, hiding from a king who wanted him dead. He was praying for answers that didn't come overnight. If you find yourself in a season where God feels silent, please don't mistake that silence for absence. He is building something inside of you, a stamina and an unshakable resolve that the blessing you're asking for will eventually require. You are being prepared for what is being prepared for you. We often think of peace as the absence of trouble, like a glass-still lake on a windless day. But true, biblical peace is the presence of trust in the middle of a hurricane. David says in Psalm 27:5, "For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will lift me high upon a rock." Notice that God doesn't always remove the trouble. He hides you right in the middle of it. He becomes the shelter while the wind is still howling. This is a reprogramming of the spirit. It means you don't need the people around you to be kind or the news to be good for you to be okay. It means your stability is anchored to something deeper than the surface of your life. When anxiety starts to rise, your response shouldn't be to run away or to work harder to control the outcome. Your response is to reconnect. In what I believe is the most beautiful part of this entire passage, David reveals his true priority. He doesn't ask for the heads of his enemies or for the crown to be placed on his head. In Psalm 27:4 he says, One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. Think about the power in that one thing. In a world that demands 1,000 things from us every day, David narrowed his focus to just one: presence. He knew that peace doesn't come from control, it comes from connection. When you stay close to the source of light, the shadows behind you naturally grow shorter. You stop reacting to the world and start responding from a place of rest. You realize that you aren't fighting for victory. You are fighting from a position of victory that has already been secured. This is why Psalm 27 begins and ends with such absolute certainty. The Lord is my light. Light doesn't argue with darkness. It simply occupies the space, and the darkness has no choice but to leave. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice. You can focus on the shadows that try to drain your energy, or you can turn your face towards the light that never fades. When you start your day by speaking God's word over your fears, your mindset, your mood, and even your physical health begin to align with that truth. This psalm isn't just meant to be read, it's meant to be lived. It's meant to be spoken into the atmosphere of your home until the air feels different. Tomorrow morning, I want to challenge you. Before you check your phone, before you let the noise of the world's problems flood your mind, speak these truths out loud. Remind your spirit that you are not walking alone. Tell your fear exactly where it stands in relation to your God. If this message reached you at the right time today, I'd love for you to take a moment and just type, "The Lord is my light," in the comments. Let's turn this space into a sanctuary of collective faith. And if you feel like you need more of these reminders to keep your heart steady in the chaos, I invite you to stay a while and join this community. We are all learning how to walk through the storm without letting the storm get inside of us. As you go into your day, remember that the Lord is your stronghold. You don't have to be strong enough on your own because his strength is made perfect in your weakness. Rest in that. Breathe in that. And may you find that one thing today, his presence, and let it be enough. Be strong, take heart, and wait for the Lord. He is already there, working behind the scenes, turning your waiting into a wonder. I'll see you in the next reflection.